Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.
Hello, I'm Chad Crawford, and welcome to Flip My Florida Yard, the show that helps homeowners transform their yards into beautiful, Florida-friendly landscapes. On this episode, we head to South Florida to help a family realize their dream of a Florida-friendly front yard.
This poor plant, I don't even know how it's alive.
Then we solve a common problem with pavered pathways.
I can't believe that this beautiful tree has caused a big issue.
We'll show you what mulch is not to use.
I'll never look at mulch the same again.
Then we hear from our expert designers.
We create these spaces of compression and expansion.
Next, we head to Gibsonton to give a small backyard big appeal.
We'd love to diversify our yard and make things a little different that are more friendly.
We'll show you how to bring birds up close.
Our main goal is to be able to sit out there, enjoy the birds, the wildlife.
Then it's how to plant a tree step by step.
I think it's looking good.
Then it's a DIY pathway that'll bring some wow to the landscape.
All right, guys, just go real slow. Those things come down hot and heavy.
All this and more on Flip My Florida Yard.
Hi, I'm Charisma. This is my husband, Jim, my son, Jared, and my daughter, Scotland, and we're the Goodman family.
We live in a neighborhood called Imagination Farms. We are original owners. Landscaping, it's a big part of the neighborhood.
I like that one right there.
Yeah.
That's
that looks
really
nice.
pretty.
People like to keep up with the Joneses.
How are you?
Everybody gets along, it's friendly, and it's home. Landscaping needs to be upgraded,
This poor plant, I don't even know how it's alive.
and we're trying to do it the Florida-friendly way. My biggest frustration is probably pavers. Pavers have been a hazard.
I'm here to learn about plants, mulch, everything.
Goodman family, good morning. Are you guys ready to do some work today?
Yeah.
Awesome, we've got a lot to do.
Our designer is landscape architect David Font.
We got over 200 plants to get in the ground today. Dad, guess what? You and I, we're gonna fix your walkway.
Yes.
So I'm really glad to have some professional hands, some professional designers.
I wanna introduce you to a good friend of mine. This is Lorna from the University of Florida's IFAS Extension Office. She's gonna teach us a little bit about what to do in the landscape today.
We have so many beautiful plants to learn about today. Who's excited?
I am.
We're going to learn all about the Florida-friendly landscaping principles, and in particular, we're going to be concentrating on two of them: right plant, right place, and how to properly mold.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Very good.
I'm so glad that you guys are here today.
Let's do this thing.
All right, guys, how does all that sound?
Great.
Well, let's get started.
Do it.
All right.
David's design calls for the removal of select plants along the house and small sections of sod to make room for expanding the flower beds. 4 large trees will be planted at the home's entranceway that, once grown in, will create a colorful canopy. We'll repair the uneven pavers on the Goodman's pathway. And finally, a water feature will be added as an inviting focal point.
That is really in there.
For the Goodmans to have their Florida-friendly landscape, they must first remove all invasive plants.
We noticed right away at the front that they had a sensitivia, which is an invasive plant. So this plant, if you let it, gonna take over. And so one good thing that you can do is take the plant and pot it and control it so that it doesn't escape.
Hey, Goodman crew, looking good, looking good. Keep up the good work over there.
I'm clearly on crutches, and there was just nothing that was going to stop me from being here with my family.
Hey, why'd you guys stop? You missed a spot.
Get up your butt.
Injury or not, I'm ready to work.
What are you sitting around for?
I'm keeping the dog company.
This is good. Maybe rotate it a little bit. Perfect. Come in here, let me talk to you a little bit about what we did here. You feel the space here, what we're trying to create? These 4 trees we put in here, the desert cassias, are beautiful trees. Once they fill out and grow in, they're gonna have a gorgeous canopy that's gonna touch. So as you're walking in your walkway now, this canopy over time is gonna grow into each other.
Hearing his expertise and the thought that he's put into where things are gonna go and how they're gonna grow and how they're gonna look, really wonderful.
Over time, it's gonna get really beautiful. This tree flowers year round, so you're all constantly gonna have flowers on it. We create these spaces of compression and expansion. So there's different ways that we can really play with how you feel things, how you experience things.
I I like to think of Florida-friendly landscaping doesn't really have a particular look. It's more about the principles, and it's those 9 principles that really make it a sustainable Florida-friendly landscape.
Look at this.
There it is. That's our problem.
When the Goodman's community was built, oak trees were planted too close to the pavered pathways. Over time, as the trees have grown, their roots have expanded, pushing up pavers, causing a major trip hazard.
So the reason why these trees are not in the right place is because they just don't have enough space to be able to grow at the span that they need to. It's an urban environment, so we have a lot of constrained sidewalks, hard surfaces, and so this is a traditional problem that we see in South Florida.
Okay, now that we got it exposed, what's the next step in terms of cutting the root?
You want a nice clean cut so it'll heal itself and give that tree the best chance to survive.
It's recommended to have a certified arborist assess your tree before cutting major roots.
What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna take a Sawzall, get a nice clean cut, and we'll go from there. You know, really anybody can take on a project like this. The key is really just to plan ahead.
Wow.
Look at that.
Holy cow. This root is gnarly. I'm so glad it's gone. Hey, Jared, come here. I got a root issue here.
You can see that.
After removing the roots, next you'll need to level out the sand. Once the sand is level, then you can begin putting back the pavers. Make sure to follow your pathway's pattern or the pavers won't fit back together. A rubber mallet is helpful to make those fine-tuned leveling adjustments. A long straight board will ensure the area you're repairing is level with the rest of the pathway.
Great job. You got a nice level surface. You guys put this back really, really nicely. The big question is how we're gonna prevent this from happening in the future again, right? We got the root system that's still gonna grow. We severed it now, but we're gonna take root barriers. So when that root system comes and reaches this again, it's just gonna hit and divert and run along it.
That's amazing.
So this is something that normally can get done when they first build the home. Unfortunately, sometimes it gets missed, but there's no problem to use it afterwards. Once we actually fix the root problem, we incorporate the root barrier, preventing that from happening again in the future.
Yes, we did cut the roots, but we didn't hurt the tree. So these beautiful oaks will be here forever.
Jim and Charisma live in an HOA, which really restricts the number of things they can do.
We did have to work with our HOA, but they were willing to engage with us, and ultimately in the end, they gave us that thumbs up.
I think using the Florida-friendly practices that we did, using the type of plant material, it really elevated their game of their front curb appeal.
While the team applies pine bark mulch to the flower beds, Lorna Bravo shows Jared in Scotland examples of mulches that are not Florida-friendly.
Let me show you. The sample that I have here is rubber mulch. One of the things that we're trying to achieve with the mulch is to make sure that it breaks down into our soil to help with organic matter. As you can see, this mulch is rubber, so it's never gonna break down. And so this one over here, both of these are color mulches, but these ones actually are not very good in the sense that we don't know where they come from. They could come from a construction site. They could be contaminants that we're inviting into our landscape.
Another common mulch that's not Florida-friendly is cypress mulch. This mulch is made from cypress trees that are often harvested near wetlands that are vital to our ecosystem.
And then here we have the rocks, right? We see them all throughout South Florida. So these are the same reason as the rubber. It will never break down.
Rocks can increase the soil temperature, dehydrating plants. They also make hand weeding very difficult, making chemicals necessary for weed control.
Rocks as mulch?
Not good. So where could you put these in your landscape?
You can find a place in the hardscapes areas of your landscape, walkways.
Before, I kind of thought all these mulches were okay. They're in everyone's yards.
I'll never look at mulch the same again.
So you'd mentioned that none of these are good mulches for our yard. What would be good mulches for our yard?
Pine needles, pine bark, melaleuca, and the leaves from the oak trees.
We have a lot of those.
So many. Oh my goodness. Wow, I didn't realize there was so much to learn about mulch.
Mulch is so important for us here in South Florida because it helps us to retain the water. It helps to also control the weeds. It also helps us define the landscapes at the edges and the borders. So it beautifies the landscape in a very easy way.
I'm here to learn about plants.
All right, so here we have gold mound duranta. It's very easy to take care of. It's very showy, and you could grow up to 3-4 feet. You're gonna love the fact that it's very easy to take care of. You know, rainy season comes, so it's gonna help for it to grow, so it's not gonna require a lot of your time. And you notice something interesting about this plant?
It has a flower.
It has a flower. So here we have Persian shield, which is a very beautiful perennial that was chosen for your plant palette. As you can see, it's very showing in terms of its colors. It does fairly well in the sun or the shade. And then another cool thing is very easy to propagate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Where would I cut from?
Once it gets a little bigger, you can, take it from right underneath the node area here, and then you can put it in water.
As it's growing in, what kind of pruning?
These are going to grow about maybe 2 feet, the most, so you don't really need to do any cutting on it.
Okay, I like that.
All right, Charisma, so I want to talk to you about these trees that we have here, the desert cassia trees.
Okay.
Gonna do a very beautiful entry focal point. What is lovely about it is it's just going to give you a lot of beautiful flowers throughout. It's very easy to maintain. It's probably gonna grow a little bit more, 15 feet or so, but it's ideal for small spaces. That I know you love butterflies and pollinators, so guess what? This is a host for the sulfur butterflies. They're going to depend on this beautiful Florida-friendly tree.
We incorporated the water feature in kind of a cool little spot as you turn on the walkway heading towards the house. So it gives you a nice little focal point from 2 directions. One, on the approach from the driveway as you're walking up to the house, and 2, as you're leaving the house, you kind of have something to walk towards, and it's a nice little feature in the background that's always going to add some ambient noise and visually be really cool.
Perfect.
Before, this front yard was full of invasive plants, had no mulch, and had a paver walkway that doubled as a trip hazard. Now, the Goodman's yard is full of Florida-friendly plants that are drought-tolerant and will attract pollinators. All the flower beds have been topped with a 2-inch layer of pine bark mulch. 4 desert cassia trees grace the entrance to the house that very soon will create a colorful canopy. Their brick pathway has been completely restored and is now safe to walk on. And a water fountain will add both visual and audible appeal. There's only one thing left to do for the Goodmans to enjoy their Florida-friendly landscape.
It's amazing. I had no idea what to expect, and to look at it now, just unbelievable.
Tell me a little bit about what you like the most, Jim.
I love the pavers. That was my biggest pet peeve, and now you can walk up and down the pavers without having any fear of tripping and falling on your butt.
I'm really glad that that is fixed, and my husband did an amazing job. Now you can get to work on the other stuff. I like the idea that these trees are going to grow into a beautiful archway and create a unique experience walking into my home.
I'm just really excited that my yard is finally a Florida yard.
I think you guys really need to give yourself a round of applause.
My motivation helped you guys, right? I was good.
Yeah.
Okay, 5. You missed your spot over there. Oh.
Thanks for keeping us in check.
Yeah.
We flipped our Florida yard.
Wow, the Goodmans are such a fun-loving family. We wish them much success with their new Florida-friendly landscape. Our next flip takes us to Gibsonton, where we meet a couple whose love for birds has inspired them to flip their yard.
All the yards in our neighborhood are pretty much all the same. It's very cookie cutter. Almost everyone's landscaping is identical.
Our backyard is pretty plain right now. Native plants would really bring in some more pollinators and insects, which would in turn attract birds.
So we'd really love to add more vegetation that's going to attract more of the birds closer to our yard so we can enjoy them even more.
I am a bird nerd. We have this beautiful pond back here with a lot of wildlife. We get heavy storms in South Florida. It causes runoff and it makes it pool in certain areas in our yard that will actually end up into the pond. So we want to be cognizant of what is in our yard so to make sure it's safe for the wildlife. Our main goal is to be able to sit out there, enjoy the birds, the wildlife, and really kind of enjoy some of the sunsets that we get.
So we're really excited to have a Florida-friendly landscape. Just something new for our backyard is what we're really excited about, just something different that we can both enjoy.
Today's flip designer is Emily Forner from Old Florida Gardens. Her team will be helping Brett and Kara flip their yard into a beautiful bird-attracting oasis.
I'm sure you can see we got a little bit of a jump start. We got your patio painted already. We got most of the turf grass removed last night. We're getting the rest out today. Next, we'll be getting that tree in the ground, and then we're gonna get some birds in your yard.
Awesome.
So for the Dirtas, they had asked for a tropical design. I work exclusively with plants that are native to Florida, so I tried to create that aesthetic with some of our native plants that kind of lend themselves to that.
Lynn Barber is University of Florida's IFAS Extension Agent from Hillsborough County. She'll be teaching the Dirtas about the Florida-friendly landscaping principles.
I'm going to talk today with you about the 9 Florida-friendly landscaping principles and about the buffer zone.
Awesome. We're excited.
So excited to learn.
Well, we have a lot of work to get done today, so let's go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
I just can't wait to see it all come together.
Emily's design packs a lot into this small backyard. First up is the installation of a pathway made of large flagstone slabs. This will create a connection between their concrete pad and their backyard. In the corner of the backyard, a large flower bed will be created. As an anchor tree, we'll plant a gumbo limbo right in the middle of the flower bed. A decorative panel will be installed for privacy. And then we'll install Florida-friendly plants, bird feeders, and a bird bath to attract pollinators and birds.
The first thing that needs to happen in this design is to plant the gumbo limbo tree.
The gumbo limbo is very, very wind resistant, so it's great for an area that just recently got hit by hurricanes, super low maintenance, and it is a large tree that can be pruned to fit a restricted lot size.
When planting a tree, the hole you dig is very important. When it comes to the width, make sure the hole is 2 to 3 times the width of the tree's root ball. For the depth, you'll want the tree's root ball to be level with or slightly above the surrounding soil level. A shovel or stick can help guide you with these measurements.
All right, and we want it in the middle of the hole.
So Lynn, can you tell me why there's so much room around the root ball here?
Because the roots are going to grow out horizontally, laterally. So you want to make sure that it's not challenging for them. So we want to give them this area so it's going to be easier for those roots to grow out.
And they're not compacted.
And they aren't compacted, right.
Makes sense. There's a lot more than I thought that goes into planting a tree than just putting a tree in the ground.
Okay, so we do have a hose and we do need to water this in.
To avoid air pockets, which can interfere with plant growth, be sure to add water as you begin to backfill the dirt.
Okay, I think it's looking good. Now, Carol, what we're going to do is build a water ring. So we want to make this ridge around the plant.
So Lynn, tell me why we have this water ring.
Well, the watering is good because it's going to retain moisture and water inside this area. So the root ball is getting what it needs.
Awesome.
Makes sense. The whole process of putting the tree in and watering and building the ring around it, I had no idea that needed to go into putting a tree in the ground.
So how often do you recommend watering this after it's established?
Use the finger test.
What's the finger test?
The finger test means that if you're not sure if you should water or not, stick your finger down into the soil, and if it's moist, you're probably good.
Okay.
If it's really dry or the plant looks like it's struggling, maybe the leaves are wilting, you definitely need to water.
I have never planted a tree before. Having Lynn really walk us through all of the steps to plant a tree was really helpful.
We have successfully planted a gumbo limbo tree. Our work is done.
So we have these beautiful stones here today to choose from for the flagstone patio. We don't normally get to work with pieces this large.
A major design element going in today is a flagstone pathway. Emily takes care to pick out the main pieces that will become the pathway.
So Emily, what are we looking for?
The color palette on this one is just a little bit too drab. So I want to find something that's going to pop a little bit more and really stand out against those plants.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Natural stone is stunning and it really adds so much to the landscape. But because it is natural, every piece is going to be different. It's going to have its own color pattern. It's going to have its own flaws or, the flaws that beautify it. So we go through and we pick the ones that will look best in the landscape.
Wow.
Oh, this is the one. This has that really interesting color palette. And you can see the marbling of the color. And then you can see the brown sparkle in the corner, the way the orange fades into the brown. And then when this gets wet, it's really going to shimmer in the light. I think this would be stunning in the landscape.
Yeah, looks really beautiful. I love the gradient and the different colors.
So I sketched out the path in advance so that Kara could look at it and get a sense of what we were doing and make sure she was happy with the final result.
So I really thought that we were going to have much smaller stones. So tell me why you're keeping them large.
They're easier to walk on.
Okay.
They're not going to shift around quite as much. And then also we have these like really large, stunning stones with this mosaic of colors. And I don't want to trim them down. I want to maintain the visual appeal of these stones. So we're going to leave them large in the path.
Okay, yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Before the stone can be laid, Emily uses a metal border to define the edges of the pathway. This will also help separate the path from the flower beds. And then landscape fabric is laid down. This will prevent the aggregate used to lock in the flagstone from mixing with the native soil.
These larger flagstone pieces are incredibly heavy. They can be hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So it does take a fairly large crew moving them around. All right, guys, just go real slow. Those things come down hot and heavy. Don't.
At the top.
There you go. And we're just going to slide it like a couple inches over. What do you guys think?
That looks great.
Yeah, it's looking good.
It's really
It
good.
fits really nice.
We still have a ton of work to do, so let's get this next rock in the ground and we'll keep
All right,
going.
Let's do it.
So you see how these stones don't fit quite right? We have this natural arch here that kind of fits them together nicely, but we have this big gap here. So I'd like to cut off this top triangular part. We'll swing this around and it'll tighten up that gap.
Seeing Emily cut the flagstone is just so cool. I had no idea that you had to wet the flagstone because of how dusty it was.
So what I'm doing is just chipping off a little bit to make it look a bit more natural.
After all the puzzle pieces are in place, aggregate is used to level and lock in the stones.
Emily has selected some absolutely beautiful plant material, and I can't wait to tell Kara and Brett all about them. I'd like to talk to you about some of the plants that we put in your landscape.
Okay.
All right, so this is called tropical sage.
Wow.
And you can see that it has two-tone pink flowers on it, and it's a lovely plant. It will get much larger than it is. You can easily propagate it if you just snap off a piece and put it in some moist soil, then you're just gonna have that many more.
I didn't know that you could break a piece off and put it in the ground and realize how easy that really was.
All right, and this plant over here is a Simpson stopper. You can see how the top part, reaching up for the sun, is like a rusty kind of a color.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful, and it gets these red berries that the birds love, and it will grow up into a much larger shrub than it is today.
Nice, Kara, I love all those extra birds.
Yes, yes. Kara and Brett are very interested in attracting wildlife to their landscape. And with the plants that have been selected, they will definitely do that. Now, this plant is myrcene.
Okay.
And it's a lovely plant. It's a nice shrub-like plant, and it ends up with black berries on it.
Will the birds eat those too?
Yes, the birds love that too.
Perfect.
Yes. So I think you will enjoy all three of these. They're all native, and they're really easy to take care of.
I like easy.
So do I. In this particular community where you have multiple homes on waterfront, creating a buffer zone is very important.
A buffer zone is a 10-foot strip of natural vegetation along a water body. It acts as a barrier, helping to absorb harmful chemicals or excess nutrients from entering the water.
Kara and Brett live on the waterfront. By installing the plants that we did today, we're reducing the amount of runoff that will go into the pond.
Emily wanted the Dirtis to have some privacy, so we're installing a small privacy panel.
The panel Brent and I installed today is super DIY friendly. We installed a decorative screen panel with our aluminum frame. It's a real sturdy product. It's made to be outside. It's made of polypropylene and powder-coated aluminum.
Installing that privacy panel surprisingly was really easy. Awesome. Thanks, sir.
Well done.
Privacy panel checked. That's installed.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Looks like we're all done for the day. What are you guys thinking?
I love it.
Before, this backyard was about as cookie cutter as it gets. And now, it's full of character and biodiversity. Connecting the concrete pad to the pond is a flagstone pathway that sets a bold yet natural tone for the backyard. A privacy panel will make the space more usable. A gumbo limbo tree anchors the yard and is surrounded by Florida-friendly plants. And for these 2 bird watchers, we've installed not 1, but 2 bird feeders and a bird bath.
I'm just totally shocked. The plants are really awesome. They look really colorful, and I feel like we can totally manage them compared to what we had before. It looks a lot better.
And the flagstone path turned out amazing. The colors are like popping really well.
So now we get to walk down our beautiful path through our garden and enjoy the scenery of our backyard.
You guys did a great job today. I'm really proud of how much you've accomplished. You did an excellent job, and now you have this big, beautiful garden. I suspect this is gonna be something that you're gonna utilize every day.
The landscape looks amazing, and the birds are just gonna love it.
I did not think we could do this to our backyard, and just working with Emily and the team, I'm so excited for the future of our backyard.
We flipped our Florida yard.
If you live on water here in Florida, I want to encourage you to protect it with a buffer zone. This prevents excess nutrients and pollution from getting into our water bodies. And this simple effort can have a big impact on Florida's water quality. Well, that's our show. Remember, everybody doing a little, well, that's a whole lot.
Flipping our yard was a ton of fun. It's going to be a memory that we'll cherish for a lifetime.
We've seen butterflies. Welcome to New Blue Jay family. We love the flowers. Look how gorgeous they are.
Thank you for helping us with our beautiful Florida-friendly landscape design and for giving us pride back in our yard again.
Thank you so much again for flipping our yard. We've spent so much more time back here. It's totally added a lot more time that we spend in our backyard. So we're really looking forward to all the new things that our yard and activities will bring for us and what we'll add to it in the future.
Flip My Florida Yard is brought to you by the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Protecting Florida's environment starts with you. What you do in your yard can have an impact on the health of our environment and water resources.